and welcome back to my channel, Burst of Sunshine. I'm Ashley, and it's been a while. Are you feeling lucky today? Well, you should be, because today we are doing some super cute DIY projects, all themed around St. Patrick's Day. And they all are like things made out of things from the Dollar Tree, and I really think you guys are gonna love them. I know it's getting like super close to St. Patrick's Day, but all of these projects are so quick and easy that you have plenty of time to get them done. If you like DIY projects, especially cheap, easy DIY projects, don't forget to subscribe so you can see every time I post a new video. I try to post every single week. I like to do lots of DIY and crafts, but I do a little bit of everything. Sometimes I like to do a little bit of digital creation as well. So hit the subscribe button if that is something you're interested in seeing. I want to thank you for being here to watch this video. So let's just get into these crafts. Let's go. First, we're going to start with this St. Patrick's Day door hanger. I got this at the Dollar Tree. I'm not going to use the side with the 3D pieces. I like that the back is just smooth, so it's a good work surface to start with. I'm going to start by taking the strings off. You can get rid of this if you want to put your own string on. I'm just going to keep this and reuse this string on my final product, but again, you can totally change your strings out. Now I'm going to paint this green. I'm going to be using this new Shamrock color. I got this super cheap at Walmart. I always use like super cheap, affordable paints. And I'm just going to completely coat this in green because, hello, it's a clover, St. Patrick's Day. You guys get it. Now that the paint is dry, I'm just going to apply some vinyl. I actually just made this randomly goofing off on my Cricut. I will leave a link in the description below to my Pinterest where I will upload an image of this where you can save it and reuse it. But you can just piddle around on Cricut and make these whatever size and fonts you want. I just thought it would be cute. It says, "This home runs on love and shenanigans." So I just applied this to my door hanger. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit crooked and a little bit all over the place to take up some space, because I realized after I cut them, I could have made my words just a little bit bigger. So I kind of like made them diagonal so that way it would take up a little more space. I did decide it was a little bit too plain, so I took some white acrylic paint and a chip brush, and I'm just going to roughly brush all over this to kind of distress it a little bit. I kind of focused a lot around the edges. I just wanted it to have a little something extra so it wasn't just too plain. This would be super cute too if you added a bow. I just did not have the right ribbons I needed for that, so we're just kind of going to leave it as is. So now I'm going to take my little twine string that came on the door hanger when I got it, and I'm just going to place this back on, and it is done. If you want this to be a little more outside proof, you could totally coat it with like some Mod Podge to seal it in, but that is it. That's all you have to do, and you have this super cute St. Patrick's Day themed door hanger. Next, we are going to do a super affordable throw pillow. I absolutely love how this turned out. I got this dish towel at the Dollar Tree. As you guys know, I love the Dollar Tree. I got this towel for $1.25, and that's pretty much my only cost for this because I already had all the other supplies. So it's super affordable throw pillow, and I really do love how it came out. So now I'm gonna open up the towel. As you can see, this is what I'm gonna call the right side, the side with the pretty image, and I'm just gonna fold it in half. So this is pretty much going to be our pillow. Now I'm going to sew this along all three sides, leaving a gap so I can flip it right side out and so I can fill it with some polyfill or with some type of cotton. You could totally use a glue gun if you do not want to sew. I prefer to sew. It's a little bit more sturdy and I do enjoy sewing. So I am just going to sew mine with a straight stitch. But again, you could totally use a glue gun if you're not comfortable sewing or if you don't have a sewing machine on hand. So this is just me sewing it up my little machine. I actually got this I bought this machine pretty cheap used. So once I have it all sewed up, I am going to clip the corners. As you can see, I didn't cut through my threads, but I went right up to it and I cut the corners off. This is going to make the points in the corners of the pillows just so much nicer. And then I'm going to flip this right side out. I did cut the corners off of all of my corners. I probably should have mentioned, and then I flipped it right side out. As you can see, look how nice and pretty my corners look. I was a little shocked there because I forgot about the tag to cut it off. Now that our pillow is right side out, we have this little hole here that we are going to use to fill our pillow. As you guys know, I do not like to use polyfill because it is extremely expensive. I buy these pillows cheap for about $3 at Walmart. I'm able to use them multiple times. I've been using this same pillow for months. I've made multiple throw pillows. I use this one all the time. I'm just going to take the stuffing out of this pillow from the bedding section at Walmart, and I'm going to use it to stuff my pillow. Now the last step is going to be to sew up this little hole so none of our stuffing comes out. So I'm just going to stick this in my sewing machine and do a quick little stitch back and forth on it to seal it in, and that pretty much is it. You're done with your pillow at that point. We do got to snip the threads after sewing, and then I'm going to kind of like fluff the pillow out a little bit. I'm just going to rough it up a little bit just to fluff it out and evenly distribute the cotton, because I did kind of shove it in so I could get to that side to sew it. That is it. That is all you have to do. I love how simple this pillow is, but it is just so cute. It's clearly St. Patrick's Day, and I just love it. Next, we're going to be making a cute little Lucky Charms sign. I'm going to use this date night sign I got from the Dollar Tree. I actually got this at Valentine's Day, but I'm sure you can get these probably year round with other like holidays or other themes to them. It's just a little cheap frame. I'm going to pop out the little 3D heart. I'm actually going to save that because you never know, I might need that for a future project. Now that we have just our little frame here, I'm going to paint the inside white. I decided my mom needed a cute decorative piece for St. Patrick's Day. She doesn't have any St. Patrick's Day decor whatsoever, and I just thought this would be super cute to make for her. So I'm actually going to be making this for my mom as a gift. I'm going to paint the inside white. Her house is very farmhousey themed, so I thought the white with the little wooden frame would be very nice. So now I made these on my Cricut. I just went onto Google and saved a free image of the clovers. So you could pretty much make this yourself with any image of clovers, because you want to make it for however many clovers you need. My mom goes by Mimi, so that's why it says Mimi's Lucky Charms, and each clover is going to represent a grandchild. Again, you could do this for your family and just make them for your family. I just thought this would be super cute for her to put on her mantle or something. So using transfer tape, I am placing my clovers and the words Mimi's Lucky Charms. I sized them just right. Luckily, I don't tend to get that lucky. I usually mess up with my sizing almost every time. I'm just going to place these on with transfer tape. I'm pulling off very carefully not to pull off any of my paint on the background, because it is just paint painted on that little cardboard piece. And then I used some white vinyl to cut out the letters of the initials of her grandchildren. I was going to do the full names, but I thought they would just be too small, and then it would kind of take away from the clovers. So the initials are good enough. I think it turned out super cute. She loved it. I love it. I think it's adorable. I think I need one now just for my house with like all of the people in my house. And I just love this, guys. All this took to make was some vinyl, paint, and a Dollar Tree frame. Next, we're going to be making a tie garland. I've seen these before, and I think they're so stinking cute, and I thought my mantle needed one for St. Patrick's Day. I found this scarf at the Dollar Tree, and this is going to be like our main fabric. I did need some contrasting fabric so it's not too plain. I did happen to have this green cotton fabric just stored away in my fabric stash, but you could totally go to like the fat quarter section at Walmart and get you some green fabric. I'm also going to be using some string that I have left over from Christmas to tie my garland on. So now I'm going to take some scissors and I'm just going to cut my scarf into little strips of about 2 to 3 inches, however wide you want them to be. I was going to use a rotary cutter to start, but it just wasn't cutting through this fabric, so I just took some scissors and started going to town on it. I was eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be all tied up and frayed at the end anyways. And I pretty much went down the entire scarf, cutting 2 to 3 inch strips until the whole scarf was cut into pieces. So now that I have my scarf cut into pieces, I'm going to do the same for the green, and I'm going to cut about the same amount of pieces in the green fabric, making them the same length and width as my scarf. This could be different depending on what size scarf you get, but I just used a strip of my scarf to make the first green strip, and then I continued on to make a bunch. I had this string left over from Christmas that I got from Walmart, and I'm just going to use this to be my actual string for my garland. I was going to use twine, but I kind of like this black striped one, and I thought it would go pretty good with the clovers. I did make my string 42 inches long, but this would depend on how big your mantle is. I put that calculator there so I would remember to tell you guys how long I made my string. It was 42 inches long. So now I'm just going to take a strip from my scarf that I cut, and I'm just going to tie it around my little string and just to a little knot there so it dangles down. And that's pretty much essentially what we're going to do this whole time, just like as if you're tying a shoe. Now, Let me just tell you, as you can see here, I tied the green around, but because the green is that thicker cotton fabric, it made like a thicker knot, and I didn't really like it. So I did tie this one on, but then after a minute, I did decide that that was way too wide. So I ended up going back and recutting all of the just solid green strips in half, so they were half as thin as the white ones. So as you can see in this clip here, the green strips are half the width of the white ones. It's because they just looked better, thinner. It also kind of helped the clover fabric to stick out a little more. I continued to tie these into a knot onto my string, alternating the green and the St. Patrick's Day fabric over and over, pretty much until I ran out of fabric strips. Once you have all of your fabric strips tied on there, you're ready to go. You can stick this up on your mantle, you can lay it out on a table, you can even lay it across a mantle. I love how this turned out, and you can even space them out or squeeze them together if you don't have enough. And if you have a really long mantle, you could totally just buy a couple of scarves and make it super long. I have a short mantle, so one scarf was plenty enough to cover my entire mantle. But guys, I'm kind of obsessed with this. I love it. For this project, I'm just going to make a little decor piece using just a scrap piece of wood I had left over from some book stacks I had cut. I'm going to show you here. It is 2.5 by 2.5 inches, but you could totally do this out of any wood block you find at the Dollar Tree or any piece of wood you have laying around. I'm going to paint it green because, of course, it's St. Patrick's Day, so I'm doing everything green. And I was going to do vinyl on this, but I thought, you know, not everyone has a Cricut, so we're just going to hand do this. So I just took a paintbrush and some white paint, and I just hand painted the word lucky on there. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of the homemade projects. I added a couple of lines and some dots to kind of give it a little something extra so it wasn't too plain. You can use vinyl if you want, and a paint pen would probably be even easier, but my paint pen was not working. I tried to use that at first. It just wasn't working. It was out of paint. So I'm just hand painting with a brush. It's not perfect, but I still think it turned out super cute. So I'm pretty much just going to add some little decorative dots and lines to kind of just make it a little more detailed. And that's pretty much all you have to do. You could totally go over this with Mod Podge so that way it stays more long term. But I'm just putting it on my mantle, so I did not do that. But it's totally optional. My final project is going to be using these dessert glasses. I got this 3-pack at the Dollar Tree. I'm only going to use one today, but you can totally use as many as you want. I'm going to save the others for different projects though. I'm going to take the same green paint I've literally used this entire video, and I'm going to paint the inside of this glass. Essentially, I'm making like an Irish shot. I don't know if that's a thing, but you guys know I like my little fake drinks and things, so I thought it would be fun to make something St. Patrick's Day themed. After I paint the inside of my cup and let it dry, I'm going to take a little foam board round that I cut that fits the top of my glass. The reason I'm doing this is because we don't want to waste a bunch of spackle down in this little shot glass. So I made this little foam circle that will sit on top of the glass so that way we can put our spackle on top of it. I painted a little green on it so that way if you did see it peeking through under the whipped cream, it would look like a green drink. And then I just hot glued it onto the top of my glass. I went back over with a little bit of the green paint and touched up on top of some of the glue so it didn't look so messy. And now we are going to use our spackle to make a whipped topper. I like to use this lightweight spackle. I got this from Lowe's. And then I have some icing bags that I got from the Dollar Tree and a 1M star tip that came from Walmart. These are all super affordable, and I reuse the tip over and over again. So now I'm just putting some spackle into the piping bag with the tip, and I'm just piping this onto my little cup like whipped cream. As you can see, we had a little explosion there, but it's okay. I cleaned up the excess and it still turned out super cute. This would be a great time to add some fake sprinkles or some fake toppings. I didn't have any of those, so I'm kind of leaving it just a little bit plain. So this is just what I'm doing. Thank you for hanging out with me today while we made these super cute St. Patrick's Day DIYs. I hope you guys liked these projects. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button so I know this is the kind of content you guys like to see. If you're interested in seeing other crafts and DIYs, feel free to check out my channel. I have tons and tons and tons of craft and DIY projects that I've posted before. And subscribe so you can see when I post new ones. I have some Easter crafts coming up soon, so you don't want to miss it. So make sure you subscribe so you can see when those go up. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today, watching this video, and just taking in what I have to share with you guys. So that's it for today. I will see you guys next week.